今天是英文
今天是英文。
哦，下午好，下午好，
下午好。
听得见哈。
可以啦哦。等一下
好
我分享 I share my screen, okay? Wait 啊。
我不会英文
Okay, can everyone see my screen? I think should be able to now. 看得到哦，我的那个荧幕。
有看到，
Okay,
谢谢。
can. Okay, very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for joining to this afternoon's session of our mental health talks with Radin Ma CC. Okay, so my name is Jing Yu from NTUC Health, and today's topic will be about how we can make healthier habits to enable us to age well and age actively into our later years. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so welcome to today's session again. Okay, so just if you can mute your microphone if you're not speaking. Along the way, you can just feel free to ask any questions, or you can also raise your hand up, and if or type it in the chat box as well, and I can if I see it, I will attend to you. All right. So so thank you to those who turn on your video. I love to see your happy faces. So just participate and enjoy today's session. Okay. Okay, so myself, I've been with NTUC Health for 10 years. Okay, so I've been providing care to all the vulnerable and well seniors as well in the community. Okay, so for me, I specialize in psychology as well as social work. Okay, so just for your information, today's presentation is just for informational purposes as only lah, and should not be considered as medical advice. Okay, so if you have any questions that are related to your health or medical medicines and things like that, it's always best to consult your doctors if there are any health concerns about your specific condition. Okay, but of course, as far as possible, I will try to answer any questions that you might have using my own experience. But of course, at the same time, it is not medical advice. All right. So just a little disclaimer there. Okay. So before we talk about active aging, right, and the habits that we can take on to enable active aging, okay, I believe some of you already are. Before I touch on that, I will go into helping us all to understand more about the aging process. Okay, this is a process whereby we cannot escape. Okay, time finds us all. One day or another, we will all age. Okay, so from the day we are born, we start aging all the way to the day we leave. Okay, so it helps us to understand more about this process and what we can do about it. Okay, we can't stop the process, but we can do certain things that can help us improve in our aging journey. All right. Okay, so this is quite common knowledge. So as you know, Singapore is a small country. So it is without any doubt that our population is also aging. Okay, so you'll find that previously last time in 2005, all right, about 19 years ago. Okay, number of Singapore citizens aged 65 and above, right, were 1 out of every 11 people. Okay, so out of every 11 people you see in the street, see everywhere, right, at least one will be 65 and above. Okay, so slowly as the years go by, okay, up to, let's say, for example, 2025, okay, which is close to where we are at now currently. Okay, you find that actually the number of Singapore citizens 65 and above has already increased almost ×2. So now 1 in every 5 people are aged 65 and above. Okay, so as the years go by, you will find that actually there will be more and more, this number will become lesser and lesser. So from 1 in 11 to 1 in 10, all the way up to 1 in 5 currently, and then it will slowly go up to 1 in 4. Okay, whether it will go further, even lesser then, it might continue if the trend persists. Okay, so the number of, so by 2030, right, actually the number of senior citizens aged 65 and above will double up to 900,000. Okay, so assuming the population in Singapore right now is about 6 million. Okay, so by then, right, you will think that, you will find that actually this 900,000 out of 6 million out of more, maybe by then 2030 it might be 7 million, 8 million even. It's hard to tell. So by then the number of people who are able to support our senior citizens aged 65 and above will be even lesser. Okay, so compared to 1970s, right, when one senior citizen had around 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 people working people to support them. For every one person, I had 14 people to support. Come 2030, there will only be maybe 2 people to support each citizen age 65 and above. So you can imagine the amount of toll and the amount of stress that is currently on this, decreased number of people. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to look about. So if let's say our senior citizens are able to look after themselves even into their older age, right, then it can help to lessen the stress on our working generation, okay, on our children as well and our grandchildren. Okay, so because of the aging population, this also brings about certain issues, okay, such as social isolation. Okay, you will find that there is a higher number of elderly nowadays who are living by themselves, living alone. Okay, and because they are living alone, they express high levels of loneliness, and this also in turn brings about various health and mental health risks as well. Okay, such as depression, suicidal ideation and things like that. Okay, so the Department of Statistics actually estimate that about 83,000 elderly persons will be living alone by 2030. Okay, compared to 47,000 living alone in 2016. Okay, so that's almost a ×2 increase as well. Okay, so research has linked social isolation and loneliness to higher risk of a variety of physical and mental health conditions, such as high blood pressure, okay, heart disease, obesity, weakened immune system, okay, feeling anxious, very kanchiong, depression, cognitive decline, dementia, and sometimes it might even lead to death. Okay, all these are consequences simply stemming from very small things like social isolation and loneliness. Okay, so from a small thing, you might think that just elderly living alone is okay, but we want to try to curb that as much as possible, because you can see from here that actually a small thing like social isolation can lead to a variety of issues in the community. Okay, if we don't look after ourselves adequately. Okay, so also because as the years advance, we find that the technology and the medical benefits that we get also have improved. Okay, so compared to last time, right, actually people are living longer nowadays. Okay, so compared to let's say for females, okay, for the women, in 2010, women were found that life expectancy of an average female was about 84 years old. Okay, in Singapore. So fast forward now to 2020, okay, 10 years later, the average life expectancy has actually increased to 86. So women are actually living longer for 2 more years compared to 10 years ago, or at least now they are 10 years ago in 2010. Okay, for the males as well, also I see an increase in 2 years. So in general, people are actually living 2 years more than those people who lived 10 years ago. Okay, so even though we live more, we live 2 years more on average, the issue here is how do we want to live this 2 extra years? Okay, the question then would be to think of is, do we want to live well, being an active senior, or do we want to live with no purpose? Okay, because I believe these two have different meanings, and the way we live will also affect our things like our health and our final life expectancy as well. Okay, so the good news is that Singaporeans are living longer and healthier lives, and if you plan ahead, okay, aging can be a positive experience for all. So it's more like whether do you want to touch wood, lie on the hospital bed, or do you want to continue to do the things that you love, like going to the market, cooking the dishes that you love, taking part in activities. and then, engaged by your loved ones. Okay. Okay, so what is normal aging? Okay, so normal aging is something that we all go through. Okay, you cannot escape from this. So physically, these are the changes that we go through, when we age. So like for your skin, you find that actually it's not so elastic anymore. So which is why there are a lot of all the wrinkles. Okay. For bones, you will find that gradually your bones lose calcium. Okay, and in turn, you find that it's harder to move around because you have lesser strength. The decrease in the joint mobility, like you realize that your range of movement not so wide anymore, and it's harder to maybe reach out to take certain things. Okay, because of your decrease in the mobility. Okay, bone mass, decrease in muscle mass as well. You find that this results in lower strength. Okay, so for hair, okay, the hair will be thinning as well as gray, turning gray or white, and loss of facial hair as well. Okay, so for the brain, okay, you'll find that as we grow older, there's definitely a decrease in our brain matter. Okay, so the size of our brain inside actually decreases a bit. All right, and this in turn also causes decline in memory, various changes like altered sleeping patterns. And sometimes you might find that when talking to someone or when someone asks you a question, right, your reply it's probably slower. Like you have to think through it longer to process before you're able to respond. So maybe your response time might be slower compared to how you were like maybe 30, 40 years ago. Okay. So this is all normal part of the aging process. Everyone goes through this. Okay. There might be some exceptions, like say, why some of them the hair never turn white and things like that. But more or less to a certain extent, all these changes, all these physiological changes will take place. Okay. Okay, so for your heart and vascular aspects as well, you'll find that there are changes in blood pressure, okay, and decrease in the ability to respond to stress, and the decrease in cardiac output means like how fast your heart beats to pump blood around the body, okay. And then for some people also, they might have issues with their continence, which means whether they can control their urine. Okay, so continence is another problem because of the reduced bladder capacity and the urethral and bladder wall weakening. Okay, so you might not be able to control your urine as well as last time how you used to be able to. Okay, for vision as well, you'll find that your eyesight, some of them might be short-sighted or long-sighted. Okay, some of them you might also find that some people they might contract glaucoma or cataracts. Okay. And for the, for your gastrointestinal, which is your digestive system, okay, you'll find that you might have reduced saliva production, okay, dry mouth. So these two things likely lead to difficulties with regards to swallowing, okay? And maybe your taste compared to last time, you might find that your taste buds are, the sensories are more diminished. So you might not be able to taste as well as previously you did. Okay, for some people also, they might find that they are more constipated, harder to pass motion, and decreased production digestive enzymes. Okay, so takes a longer time to digest the food. So which is why also the older people usually they don't eat so much because the more they eat, the longer it's harder for them to digest the food and feel more discomfort. Okay, so for physiological, so just now those I covered were mostly the physical aspects, okay, changes that you can see on the outside. But of course, with aging also, our lifestyle changes, most of the things also change as well. So all the psychological and social aspects also change, all right? So things like confidence, self-esteem, okay? Because as we grow older, right, there are most people are worried about, their wrinkles on the face, their hair turning white, the teeth not being so good anymore. So all these changes actually do have an effect on the individual's confidence and self-esteem. Okay, then they'll worry like, do I still look as good as how I did last time? Will people view me differently? Okay, so all this all affects their confidence. Okay, then this also brings about issues of like ageism. Okay, so some people as they grow older, right, then they will think like, hey, is it because I grow old already, then people think that I cannot do certain things anymore? Okay, will I be deemed as not as good as last time because of my age. Okay, so role changes. So probably like, okay, last time maybe you were a parent. Okay, you took on the role of a parent to your child. But as you grow on older, right? Maybe when you're 60 something, 70 something, your kids are much older as well. They learn how to look after themselves anymore. So maybe your role as a parent is not so it's different from how it was previously as well. You're more of like looking after yourself as the priority. So all these role changes will also have an effect as you grow older. Okay. Then as you grow older and get on in age, we sometimes lose our partners as well, our spouses. Okay, pass away due to either natural causes or medical causes. Okay, so these are issues that we have to deal with as well. So for example, if loss of partner, right, then you will result in things like loneliness, because maybe last time you were living with your partner, and then due to their passing, you find that you're now living by yourself and have no one to talk to you. So these are all issues regarding loneliness. And maybe last time you used to hold a very busy job, okay? Maybe you work long hours and things like that. So after you reach the retirement age, suddenly you realize that, oh, last time I was so busy, but now I'm actually not doing anything anymore. So retirement can also cause some psychological changes, because right now the people could find themselves at a loss at what to do. Okay. Then of course with retirement, because they stop work, it also brings about some financial concerns, whether they have earned enough previously when they were working to support the remainder of their lifespan. Okay. And other various psychological problems that come about with aging. Okay. Okay, so aging and mental health are quite similar. So even though we always think about aging as something physical, right? Actually, the mental health aspect is also very intricately linked as well. Okay, which I'll cover now. Okay, so you'll find that as our population ages rapidly, right, the number of elderly with dementia and depression issues are likely to rise as well. Okay, so previously in 2015, okay, there were about 45,000 people with dementia. Okay, that was in 2015, almost 10 years ago. So actually they are estimating, okay, that in 2030, this number will hit 103,000, okay, which is almost times 2, the number of people with dementia, okay. So you find that actually on average about 1 in 10 people over 60 have dementia. So, if you're above 60, there is at least a 10% chance of you getting dementia. All right, so that's actually quite high. The risk of getting dementia is actually quite high, but also not that low, lah. All right. Okay, so just now, even though I talk about aging, right, dementia itself is not a normal part of aging. Okay, so while everyone ages, not everyone will get dementia. Okay, so as I said, only 1 in 10 of the people above 60 will get dementia. All right, so what is dementia? Some of you might already be familiar with it. You might have seen people with it on TV. You might have seen or spoken to people with it in the community as well. So for the benefit of those who are still not so clear about what dementia is, okay, so dementia itself is actually the progressive decline of functioning due to the damage or disease in the brain. Okay, so as you can see in the picture next to it, right? The left half shows actually the cross section of a healthy brain, whereas the right half actually shows the cross section of a brain with Alzheimer's disease, okay, which is dementia. So you will note that even though this brain is same age, right? The person the same age, the one with Alzheimer's disease, okay, the brain matter is significantly lesser than the healthy brain matter. Okay, so dementia itself is a range of diseases that affects the brain. Okay, more commonly seen in the elderly. So usually, typically 16 and above. But of course, there's also such a thing as early onset dementia, which can affect people even as early as 40 years old. Okay, but that one is not quite uncommon. Okay, so like what I said, people above 65 years old more prone to developing dementia. Okay, however, younger people may also suffer from dementia as well. Okay. Okay, so what actually brings about dementia? Okay, there are a few risk factors that increase the risk of getting dementia. Okay, so things like age. Okay, you will find that as we grow older, the older you are, the higher the risk of getting dementia. Okay, genetics. So if you have a history of someone in the family who has Alzheimer's disease, then there's also a possibility that this gene is either maybe inside you as well. Okay, touch wood lah, but there is it is able to be passed on through genetics. Okay, so any underlying medical conditions, okay, like hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and depression. Okay, so for example, hypertension. So hypertension, we all know that it is high blood pressure, right? Okay, so the thing that high blood pressure causes, right, is stroke. Okay, so in the event of a stroke, due to the lack of oxygen in the blood that goes to your brain, right, there's a chance that you'll develop vascular dementia. Okay, which exhibits also the same symptoms as Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so anytime there's also a lack of social interaction, and smoking also, consuming alcohol, and also lack of physical activity. Okay, so all these factors contribute towards the risk of getting dementia. Okay. Okay, so having known all these risk factors, right, and which are associated with dementia itself, then we want to ask ourselves, so what then can we do to lower our risk of obtaining dementia, and continue to live happy and active lifestyles to the end of our journey lah. Okay, so that's why this brings about today's topic of active aging. So what is active aging? Okay, the very fact that all of you are tech savvy enough to use Zoom and attend today's talk, right, is also an example of active aging. Okay, so right now I'll just go further in depth. So actually, you all kind of have a impression of what active aging is already, but I'll just share a bit more on what it is. Okay. Okay, so according to the World Health Organization, actually they define active aging as the process of optimizing opportunities for health, participation, okay, and security in order to enhance quality of life as people age. Okay, so you'll realize that actually active aging is not so much of just embarking on the journey of growing old, but rather it's all about the quality of life as you grow old. How good or how well do you grow old? Okay. Okay. So healthy aging, okay, is an investment, not a cost. Okay. So the things that you do are part of an investment that helps you to live longer and better. Okay. So for example, in this diagram, you will find that, okay, maybe you participate in social activities at your nearby active aging center or at your community center. Okay. So you take the time, you take the effort to take part in all these activities. It is considered your investment. Okay, so like every investment, like every wise investment, definitely there will be some benefits, right? I mean, you won't just invest in something and then not to expect anything in return, right? I mean, even though you invest in certain insurance plans or stocks, for example, there will be ultimately some benefits lah. Okay, if it's a decent plan, all right. So the benefit that you reap from social participation is actually the social connectivity, okay, whereby you get to meet new friends, speak to them, talk to them, share experiences. And through all these shared experiences, you actually strengthen your own mental well-being, okay? So the returns of these activities would actually bring you good health, okay? Both physical health as well as your mental health, okay? Okay, but the journey to healthy aging, right? I mean, like every investment, right? In order to invest, you need capital as well. Okay, so definitely there will be some barriers to healthy aging. Okay, so individual barriers to healthy aging, to participating regularly in physical and social activities actually include certain things like ageism. Okay, so ageism is the belief that I'm old already, I can't do anything more. Okay, or I can't do it because I'm old. Okay, social isolation, the fact that I would rather just be alone. I don't want to participate in any activity because I'm more comfortable being alone. Okay, or lack of motivation. Maybe I don't want to meet new friends. I'm not motivated to meet new friends because what is the point, right? To them there is no point. Or they are afraid that if they participate in any physical activity, they might get injured, and the pain that results from it is a barrier that stops me from maybe going out to have a walk, because maybe I'm afraid of falling down. I've fallen down a few times before, But so now I'm very afraid that if I go out and take a short walk, I might also fall down. So end up, I just don't do anything. Okay, so that's one barrier as well. Okay, potential for injury, like I mentioned, and the perception. Okay, they feel that there is no point in overcoming all these barriers, or there is no barrier at all. I just don't feel like doing it. Okay. Okay, so for this case study, right, actually, because there are so many barriers in our daily lives, right, it's very easy lah to tell ourselves, cannot one, cannot, but it's even harder to tell ourselves can. Okay, so like this gentleman here, you see here, Mr. Tan Gok Sing, okay, he shows us all that actually old age itself is not a disease. Okay, it's just another number. Okay, no matter how old you are, that age is just a number. Okay, so Mr. Tan here, actually he's 95 years old already. Okay, so in the picture, you can see that he went skydiving on his 90th birthday. Okay, how many people will do that? Okay, I mean, granted, there are safety precautions to be taken, but he did manage to accomplish this even on his 90th birthday. Okay, he went skydiving. Okay, so he won a few awards. Okay, so from his 60s to his 90s, okay, he skydived 5 times. Okay, ran 2 marathons. Okay, and conducted whitewater rafting activities and also abseiled down the building. All right. So a lot of times from 60s onwards, we consider ourselves elderly already, right? A lot of things we think we cannot do. Okay, but this guy here, this guy is an exception. He did all these things specifically from 60 years old onwards. Okay, so but of course, as he grew old, right, I mean, it wasn't without his difficulties as well. So all the barriers come in, right? So in 2009, he had a stroke. Okay, but he overcame it, and he also recovered his mobility within 3 months. Okay, so it's not easy to actually recover your mobility within such a short time. It requires a lot of effort on your part as well to continuously practice and exercise in order to recover yourself to the point that you were before. Okay, and of course, in 2017, he overcame a fractured kneecap. Okay, so this Mr. Tan here shows us that actually things are doable. It's just whether you want to or not, and that age itself is just another number. All right. Okay, so how do we then, what are the healthy habits that we can pick up in our current, to enhance our current lifestyle? Okay, so there are 3 main points. First is move. Okay, second mingle, and third is manage. Okay, so with these 3 points in mind, if we can adhere as much as possible to these 3 points, then we can somewhat call ourselves successful agers. Okay, so for the first point on moving, okay, so moving is about how we maintain physical and cognitive functions. Okay, so through activities and our brain. Okay, so certain things like decreasing stress. Okay, through exercising. Okay, exercising is how we maintain our physical function. So I believe some of you might do simple exercises, every day, go down for a short walk, play some games. Like, you go to the active aging center in the morning, then they will have exercise activities whereby, you even if you're unable to move, because your legs are not too good, you can also sit there and exercise your arms and things like that. So even little things, simple things like that also play a huge, yes, Jade, I see you exercising, good, like that, right? So yeah, good. So even simple things like sitting there, raising your hands every day a bit, right, helps with the blood circulation, and of course helps you to also maintain your physical function, lah. Okay, so we shouldn't undermine all these small little everyday actions that we take. Okay, you don't have to go down and complete a 1 kilometer walk. Okay, even simple things like every day you make it a point. Okay, I walk from my living room to my room maybe 5 times every day. Okay, that helps you to maintain your mobility as far as possible. Okay, so of course that's for your body, that's for your own physical capabilities, but doesn't mean that we should also neglect our brain. Okay, because our brain is also like a muscle. We have to exercise and work it. Okay, so how do we exercise our brain? We do so by cognitive training. Okay, so this one might be a very cheap word, but actually cognitive training just simply means things that we use our brain for, lah. So basically anything that allows us to use our brain. Okay, even thinking about what number to buy for 4D, for example, or you play mahjong. Okay, the games that we enjoy, things like Sudoku, word puzzles, word games, or so these are the more like activity that you sit down and do. But there are also many things in our daily life, like such as thinking about what to cook for our family later this evening. Like, do I want to try to cook something new? Learning a new recipe, okay, learning a new skill. Maybe going to the AAC and then they say that, oh, we have this new handicraft class that teaches you how to make lanterns for Mid-Autumn Festival, things like that. Okay, so by learning something new, you are also exercising your brain. All right. Okay, so that's for moving. So moving refers to moving both your brain and your body. And then we move on to the second one, which is mingling. Okay, so mingling is more like of the social connectivity. Okay, maintaining the connections that we have with either with our family, with our friends, with our various places that we like to go to, like the active aging centers, like the community centers and things like that. Okay, so it's very important, this social connectivity, and we want to, as much as possible, continue this engagements with life. Okay, so maintaining familial ties. Once in a while, we call our family members, check in on them, maybe every weekend, go out, gai, have a dinner, have lunch, and just get along well. Okay. And of course, to also live a positive life. Okay. So granted, there will definitely be a lot of issues that come about in life. Okay, whether our health, our family ties and things like that. But we always want to encourage positivity. Okay. Okay, so for diet, managing our diet, that's for the third point. Okay, so minimizing the risk of disease and disability, okay, through our diet. So what we eat also makes what we are. Okay, so as far as possible, we want to encourage eating more fruits and vegetables. Okay, because as just now earlier on I mentioned, right, as we grow older, we might find that some of us, the seniors, right, might have constipation issues. Okay, due to the large intestine's ability to absorb water from the food that we take. So therefore, we need to supplement a lot more with fruits and vegetables, okay, to help them to pass motion out. Okay, so of course, reducing fat intake, like fast food, or like if you go and eat outside, some of the food, they have very high fat content, like chicken rice. We all love to eat the chicken skin, but as far as possible, we try to cut down on all these things, okay, because if you continue with a very high fat with a diet of high fat intake, right, then this will result in high blood pressure, okay, which inevitably might result in stroke and cause vascular dementia. So we don't want that. So therefore, we try to keep it a very minimal fat diet, all right. And of course, if there are any habits like smoking or drinking, we try to cut them down, because all this will also affect how we age as well. Okay. I mean, smoking also brings about various risks like lung cancer and things like that. All right. Okay. So, okay, what to stop doing for healthy aging? Okay. Okay, like you can stop doing. I mean, I can say here to stop doing but actually, I also understand that it's not easy. Okay, because sometimes all these points listed here are very long-term habits already. I can imagine, someone who has probably been smoking for 30 years since last time until now, it's not easy for them to also keep the habit. But of course, bearing this in mind, if they are able to, then definitely their health will improve a lot more. Okay. So smoking, drinking excessive alcohol, okay, sitting still or too long, okay, remaining sedentary, like not doing anything for a long period of time, okay, or consuming food that is high in sodium, sugar, and oily as well, okay, or having negative beliefs or perceptions of aging, okay. So these are the things that we want to avoid, or at least try to cut down as much as possible in order to help us to age healthily. All right. Okay, so this is just like a plan, like what we can do from this moment onwards. Maybe after you hear me talk, right, then you become very inspired. I don't know, but this is we propose this action plan with smarter goals, for your consideration if you'd like to embark on this journey. Okay, so we set goals for ourselves so that we know when we are improving. Okay, so what kind of goals do we set for ourselves? Usually we go by this SMARTER. Okay, SMARTER. Okay, so it's an acronym. So it stands for, the S stands for specific action or a goal. So it could be a very simple thing like, okay, maybe to walk from my living room to my kitchen 5 times every day. Okay, things like that. Very specific, but very small also. Very simple. Okay, it must be measurable. Whether is it by time. Okay, maybe you want to make yourself, I go down for a walk every day for 10 minutes. Okay, so measurable by time or by distance. Okay, maybe I walk from here to my nearby supermarket once every week, something like that. Okay, something that has to be meaningful as well and motivating you to do. Okay, you must have a reason for wanting to do it. Okay, not just do for fun, because if you just do for fun, then there won't be a point for you to do it. Okay, must be achievable as well. You know yourself best, so it has to be something that you think you will be able to achieve if you set this goal for yourself. So for example, if let's say touch wood lah, maybe you wheelchair bound, your legs not so good, then you set yourself a goal of running a marathon, then probably that one is not so achievable lah. So we don't want that lah. Okay, it has to be something more achievable that you yourself, based on your current situation, will be able to achieve. Okay, it has to be realistic as well. So similar to the example that I mentioned just now, time bound. Okay, it can be a duration that you set for yourself. Okay, maybe to go down for a walk for 10 minutes every day for 3 months. Okay, and then you do 3 months first. It has to be a duration that you are comfortable with. Okay, not too long lah, because if you straight away off the bat you set too long, right, then the moment you think about it, you will feel, very sian, I don't want to do it anymore. So you won't be motivated to do it. So it has to be short, simple, and easily achievable, so that you can encourage yourself to continue to keep it up and improve as the time goes by. All right. So after maybe you do it for 3 months, then you evaluate. Okay. So whether there are any changes compared to my state 3 months ago. Okay. So maybe you find that last time, okay, when I first started, maybe I climb up stairs. I climb up 2 flights of stairs. I feel very breathless. Okay, so maybe I do it for 3 months, and then 3 months later I review my goal, and then I realize that, oh, last time I feel breathless when I climbed up two flights of stairs, but now I feel better. I don't feel as breathless as I did 3 months ago. Okay, so we evaluate the outcome and whether it is meaningful. Okay, then of course the last one will be to readjust the methods and your techniques that you previously took to help increase the efficiency as well lah. Or if you want to, like, maybe you feel that maybe I realized that I climb stairs, my knees very painful, so it makes me not want to do it anymore, or not so motivated to do it anymore. So maybe by readjusting, I can change, maybe not climb upstairs, maybe I walk up a slope, for example. Okay, so there's still some form of exercise involved, but maybe because by walking up a slope, maybe it's not so taxing on my knees as compared to having to walk up the stairs. Okay, so you readjust based on your current state. Okay, so for example, okay, so I give you all an example. Okay, so the goal for this is maybe starting from Tuesday. Okay, tomorrow, like today is Monday, so maybe tomorrow I'm going to start walking 10,000 steps. Okay, so that's something specific. Okay, so how is it measurable? How do I measure? How do I know when I hit 10,000 steps? Okay, so I can't be constantly counting, right? So for this, I will use a watch. Okay, you know the step tracker that you all have. Some of you might have redeemed one. Okay, so I'll use the step tracker. Okay, 4 days a week. Okay, for example lah. Okay, so the achievable aspect would be walking to the supermarket and back will allow me to hit 4,000 steps. Okay, so relevant. Okay, I want to become a fit, healthy, and mentally strong person. So this is the goal that I set for myself. Okay, so time bound, what's the duration that I set? Till the next appointment at the polyclinic. So 6 months, I set for myself a duration of 6 months from now. Okay, then later on, I will evaluate and readjust anything that requires any changes. Okay, so this is an example. You can free to set the goal for yourself. Okay, as long as you're happy with it. Okay, so some great goals for physical health include things like okay, paying proper attention to our medical problems. Okay, because I believe as we grow older, right, we are all no stranger to the three highs, right? High blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, things like that. Okay, so we have to really pay attention and control our blood sugar and glucose levels. Okay, through our BP monitoring, medication compliance, diet control, and having an active routine. And of course, if you haven't already, it also helps to go for our annual health screenings, whereby you can measure all these aspects and then get a better understanding of where you're at currently. Okay, and of course, practice good dental hygiene every day, and also with regards to the physical and mental well-being. Okay, go for regular health screenings, seek help for stress, low mood, and anxiety early. Okay, because a lot of times, life actually has a lot of problems on I mean, we all have our own issues. So things like our loved ones passing on, financial problems, all sorts of problems. So it is always very important to understand ourselves, what we are going through. Okay, whether we are stressed or not, or whether we have a low mood or anxious, and then seek help for all these things, because usually a lot of times we go through it without actually knowing how bad or how severe it is, and by the time we realize it, it's too late. Okay, so it results in very bad circumstances lah. Okay, so like all the senior suicide, things like that, because they become so overwhelmed with depression and didn't even realize it themselves. Okay, so and then eventually they just chose to end their lives, which we don't want. So it's always best to seek help early and know what you're going through and don't discount it. Okay. Okay, so for health and fitness, okay, depending on your own body condition, you can also look at some low impact exercises. Okay, because likewise, like I mentioned, like as you grow older, your range of joint movement decreases, right? So sometimes you might find that you cannot stretch your arms out so much. So things like qigong, tai chi, things like that. All these exercises will help you to promote and improve, or at least maintain your joint movement, because there's a lot of smooth movements, but at least they won't impose too much or high impact on your joints. Okay. So things like walking as well. Slow walking is also fine. Okay, you can aim to slow walk for 30 minutes, 3 times a week. Okay, based on your body's condition, sometimes also based on the weather and things like that as well. Okay, so strength exercises. Okay, you can either concentrate on your arm or upper body exercise. Okay, or leg exercises. For this kind of exercises, actually, there are since you know how to attend all these online talks, like sometimes YouTube, all those things, they also have many similar kinds of exercises that you can watch and then you can try to follow also lah. I believe at the active aging centers also, they also play some videos for exercise videos whereby you all can also follow and then do a relatively good workout as well. Okay, but of course, if you have any doubt with regards to all these exercises and what is suitable for you, okay, you should consult either your doctor or your therapist for the kind of exercise that is suitable for you. Okay, if you're unsure. Okay, because we also don't want to promote injury as well. Okay, because if you do an exercise that is unsuitable for yourself at your current state, then you will result in injury. Okay, because as we grow older, right, our body is actually more and more fragile. So we have to look after it with more care. Okay, so for diet and nutrition, okay, we will advocate for a 50%, 25%, 25% formula for each meal. Okay, so what does this ratio refer to? It is half vegetables or fruits, okay, and then a quarter brown rice equivalent. Okay, I don't know how many of you have already switched to eating brown rice instead of white rice. But actually brown rice in this aspect is a lot more healthier compared to white rice. Okay, although I get that the taste is different. I mean, the texture is different as well. Okay, so some of you might not prefer brown rice. Okay, then of course the other 25% would be meat and others. Okay, like poultry, fish, tofu. So you realize that actually, right, as we grow older, right, actually the ratio, the percentage of our diet will actually consist predominantly vegetables and fruits. Okay, 1/4 carbohydrates, and then the other quarter will just be meat and any other protein related food. Okay, and of course to always drink enough water to keep yourself hydrated. Okay, especially Singapore's weather is very volatile and very hot, so being hydrated is also very important. Okay. Okay, so and then some great goals for social and mental health. Okay, so we have our family and community. Okay, keeping connected within this this circle. Okay, for example, video chatting with the grandchildren, with your grandchildren every Saturday. Okay, or better still, if they come over and have a meal with you, talk over certain things together. All these are very good goals for your mental health and your social health. Okay, or if you are looking at a more personal purpose, okay, like sometimes as we grow older, we find that there's nothing to do, 没有东西做, don't know what I should do in life. There's no purpose anymore because my children are all grown up. I have sufficient money to last me, so I don't really have to work. Maybe you can consider learning a new skill at the CC, okay, or maybe you can even volunteer your time and your skills for your local community as well. Okay, because we are always looking for volunteers that can help to actually look after the other people in the community also lah. So no one is an island lah in the community. Okay, there's always a purpose for everyone, regardless of the age you are. Okay. Okay, then for mental health, okay, so we move on to mental health, happy life, okay, so it's very important for us to acknowledge every day that we get, and to, if possible, we give thanks every day lah. Okay, regardless of whether you have a religion, no religion, or whatnot, it will help to be appreciative of every day that we get, okay, because at the same time, life is also very unpredictable. We don't know what tomorrow brings. So each day that we get, we should be appreciative of it. Okay, and engaged life. Okay, so having a life filled with people around you, maintaining a very meaningful and healthy circle of friends and family would actually keep ourselves engaged, will actually improve our mental health as well. Okay, meaningful life also. Like, do we want to contribute back towards the community if we are able to, and help to impact and change the lives of the other people around us? Then if you're able to do that, then likely life will be more meaningful for you, which also contributes significantly to your own mental well-being. Okay, and of course, the lastly is by attending this series of mental health talks, you also learn about the various skills, the various tips that you can help to improve both your own physical as well as your mental health. Okay, which is good because you all are already doing this currently. Okay, so a healthy mind is also as important as a healthy body. Okay, so just because it's not just enough to maintain your body, right, through your diet, through your exercises, but it's also very important to maintain positivity by thinking well, okay, and always looking on the bright side of life. Okay, because in a way, these two aspects influence each other. So if our mindset is not so good, right, then it will also affect our body as well. Okay, and likewise for our body to affect our mind. Okay, so okay, lastly, right, at this juncture, the important message for everyone is that you can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old. Okay, so like earlier on for Mr. Tan, for him, age is just a number. I don't think he considers himself as old at any point in time. Okay, so active aging is for everyone, okay, regardless of your age, including those who are also frail. Okay, just because you might be sitting on a wheelchair does not mean that you cannot go through active aging. Okay, active aging it's not just about the body, but it's also about the mind as well, and the perspectives that we hold as we carry on in this journey in life. Okay, so that's why it is for everyone, even for those who are frail, have any physical limitations, or in need of care. Okay, so it doesn't mean that someone looking after you means you cannot be an active ager. Okay, you can also be an active ager regardless of whether someone is looking after you or you are the caregiver. Okay, so it is never too late to set your own goals and start your journey to a happier and healthier life. Okay, so never too late. You can start your goals as soon as possible to impact the change that you are looking for. So all the change is up to you as the individual to effect. Okay. Okay, so right now we have, if you have any questions, you can also feel free to ask. Let me take a look at the, okay. If you have any questions that anyone has in mind, that you can just voice out straight away. Hi, Peggy. Nice to see you again. Okay, I'll just give it a while. I mean, I don't know if any of there are any questions, but in the meantime, maybe we can also take a group photo if possible. Okay, so if you already have your camera, then you can just look at your camera, and then I will just count 3, 2, 1, and then we will just take a group photo together. All right. Thank you so much for those who turn on your camera. I really appreciate, and I really love to see your smiling faces. Okay. Okay. So with that, then I'll just count 3, 2, 1, and my colleague will take a picture. All right. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for the picture. And okay, I assume no. Okay, let me see whether there's a question. Okay, no, so no. Barbara said thanks for your sharing. Okay, thank you so much for coming today, Barbara, as well. David as well. Thank you for coming. So okay, so I assume no questions about. I mean, if there are any questions, of course, you can also email to us. Okay, let me just type. Okay, wait. You can either check in with Radin Mas CC as well, or if you have any questions, you may also. Okay, I'll type in my email, our email at the bottom, all right? Okay, so that's our email. It's crest@ntuchealth.sg. All right. So I'm not sure if there's a QR code for you all to scan. Okay, so this one taken already. Thank you all. Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure if there's a QR code for you all to scan. So might want to but otherwise I come to the end of my talk today. I hope you all took away something, okay, to start on this journey of active aging lah. But I can see that most of you are already on this journey lah. Most of you seem for those who turn on their camera, I can see the smiles on your faces, and you look very well. So do continue to keep yourselves healthy, okay, both physically as well as mentally, and always helps to keep a positive mindset in life lah. Okay, as we move on. All right. Thanks. Okay, I'm not sure if our colleague at Radin Mas CC has any QR code for. Last time there was this QR code to scan for the passion points or something. But otherwise, if you don't have to scan, then this is the end. All right. I wish you all a happy afternoon, and I look forward to seeing all of you at the next talk that we have in line. Okay, which is should be next week on the Monday, if I'm not wrong. But I think it should be Mandarin. Okay, here you go.
QR code.
QR code, yes.
QR code.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Tang. So I have to attend next week to get the repeat talk.
Next week, next week
it will be in Chinese, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it'll be Mandarin. I think by another of my colleagues.
Yeah, I'm not so good in Mandarin, but roughly I can understand a bit.
Okay, I can agak-agak lah. Actually,
because I missed most of the class today.
Oh no, yeah, no wonder I only just just saw you and then just saw you come in at the near the end. It's okay, but I'm still really appreciative that you still come in, like, you know, regardless of how late. But thank you so much for coming in. Hopefully, hopefully if you can attend the Mandarin, but I think the content should more or less be somewhat similar lah.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would love to share more with you, but because next week I won't be the one doing the Mandarin one lah. But I believe you should be still can understand one lah. Can understand one lah.
I hope so.
Can.
Hello,
Thank you.
hello, excuse me.
Yes.
We can see in the Facebook, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Yes.
Yeah, Silver Creek Facebook.
So it will be repeated in the Facebook. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Wow, thanks
Okay.
whoever shared this. I forgot that this is a live stream. Then I think it'll be broadcasted on the Facebook page. So you can go there to have a look at the recording lah. The recording. You can start from the start.
Okay, I read it now. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Is it Winnie who shared?
Bye.
Who was the one who shared? But thank you so much.
Lu.
Lu. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Lu.
Thank you, Lu. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for the talk. Just enjoy the talk. Also make me feel happy and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Continue to remain happy and healthy, okay?
Yes, thanks. I wish everyone here happy, healthy, and happy.
Yeah, happy. Yeah, everyone happy is the most important.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.